Welcome to the Thinking Green News Moment. I'm Chris Schneider, and today my guest is Jay Thurston. Jay, what an adventure you are on. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm pleased to be here, and yes, it was a great adventure, and very exciting adventure. I'm pleased that not only did we do it, but I survived the trip.
And this is actually your third time for this adventure.
Yes.
How did you decide that this was an important challenge in your life the first time?
The first time, I guess we wanted to prove that the Wisconsin River was navigable from source to mouth, and that you could take a canoe from Lake Vudasere, where the river begins on the Michigan border, and paddle all the way to the Mississippi River, which we did. And then we claimed a record for the distance. It took us 11 days and 10 hours when I was 25 years old, and my partner was Gary Kitzman from Iola, Wisconsin. We were both students at UW-Stevens Point, and I guess it was a thing which college students tend to do, things like that.
And you're getting faster and faster.
Yes. At age 50, with a faster canoe, and another good partner, Mike Kinzinger. He was from La Crosse at the time. He was employed in the Recreation Department at UW La Crosse, and I was a school principal here in La Crosse in 1983. We did it in 8 days, 3 hours, and 13 minutes, so we took a couple days off of that time.
And so you're getting older and better.
Yes.
And the last time here, how long did it take you?
It took us 7 days, 3 hours, and 27 minutes, so we eclipsed about a day off of the time that we set when I was 50.
And what kind of changes have you seen in the river during
Oh,
those?
tremendous changes. 50 years ago, before the Clean Water Act, which came into effect in 1972, the river was very, very badly polluted, most of it coming from the paper mills. And we were told at the Hat Rapids Dam, about 13 miles downstream from Rhinelander, don't tip over in your canoe. Don't set foot in the water. Don't swim in the water. It's too badly polluted. It isn't safe. And we didn't tip over. We didn't swim in the water. But what happened before we got to Tomahawk, the varnish of our wooden paddles was taken off by the pollution in the water. And we didn't see any deer coming down to swim in the water or to drink of the water. We didn't see any eagles. Now, 50 years later, we saw at least one eagle every 3 miles in the first 100 miles of water. And we saw a lot of wildlife, saw a lot of deer coming down to drink in the water. We saw a lot of people out enjoying the water. We saw some big, beautiful homes on all the lakes, and there are 26 of them because there are 26 dams and 26 portages. So people are enjoying the water because the water is there, it's clean, it's pure, the fish are good, they're wonderful to catch and eat.
And speaking of portages, what is your longest portage?
The portages were longer than they were 25 years ago, largely because of 9/11. Now you don't get near a dam. So they backed up the takeout quite a bit. And what was a mile is now 2 miles. What was half a mile is now a mile. So we were surprised at the length. They're much, much longer now.
So what kind of exercise routine would you do to prepare yourself for the canoeing and the portaging?
Chris, I began 5 years ago to exercise for this trip. I knew it would take longer than I'd ever had before because, I'm 75 years old. And to be certain that I could handle it, I exercised very religiously twice a week, doing push-ups, sit-ups, 4 exercises with the 11-pound weights that I used. And I did 8 repetitions of those exercises. It took me 3.5 hours, all morning, really, 2 mornings of the week. Then on Wednesday, I went swimming. And then as soon as the ice was out, I was canoeing twice a week in order to get my hands toughened up for it. But what you have to do is to exercise more than you think necessary to accomplish the task. Because physically, it's not possible for a 75-year-old to do what I did.
What kind of surprises did you find?
I guess quite a few surprises. One was the otter that came up when they saw us going by and kind of cussed us out. They didn't think we should be there. And also a sandhill crane. We were coming very close to her and her 2 little fluffy-looking cranes. And we weren't sure if she was going to attack us or not, so we paddled a little faster to get around that point.
Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
This is Chris Schneider with the Thinking Green News Moment.